Thanks for watching. I want to talk to you a little bit about Bitcoin and specifically the blockchain versus crypto. Okay. Bitcoin and the blockchain are on this side of the aisle, and there's a lot of crypto that's over on the other side of the aisle. And I want to talk to you about the difference between those two things. Now, as we talk about your world and your money, you're going to do asset allocation, which means that as you bring money into your world, you're either going to loan or you're going to own. Okay, step number 4, the automatic investor, you're either going to loan or own. Now, what's the loan mean? When you put money in the bank, you're loaning money to the bank, and they're not paying you anything. Okay, so you're loaning it, and they're taking your money and loaning it right back to you, and they're making money. The rule of 72 says that if you're making 0 on your money, you'll never double. If you make 1%, 1 times 72 equals 72. It'll take 72 years for your checking account to double in value. But the bank took your money and they loaned it back out at 6%. They're doubling their money every 12 years. 6 times 12 equals 72. If they put it on a credit card, 3 times 21 is 72. 3.4 times 21% on a credit card. They're doubling their money every 3.5 years. This is why that it's so important that we learn about how to get your money to grow, but make it grow safely. So there's loan and own. And some of you just want to loan money. Some of you want to get 5-6% rate of return. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's all part of your asset allocation. So if you take 100% of your money, you're going to put some in the loan side and some in the own side. Now, what do you own? Well, you can own stocks. And when we talk about stocks, there's 4 ways to do that. And we're going to tell you to stay away from 2 of them. Number 1, you can pick and choose, but if you pick and choose, you lose. Okay, now you're probably smarter than I am, and I did well over $10 million in stock trades, and by the time I was up for a while, and then I got my butt kicked. All right, you pick and choose, you lose over time. Spend your time making more money with your businesses and your real estate, but put your money on automatic pilot in the stock side of it. Mutual funds. There's nothing wrong with hiring somebody. I've got people that manage some of our money, and we do that mostly for asset protection and the downside. You can put in the S&P 500, the 500 largest companies in America. It's an index. It's a group. It's a one product that you can own a little bit of all those 500 companies. And you can do one of my favorites, which is Berkshire Hathaway. Now, over time, if you pick and choose, you're going to lose. Number 2 is if you put it into mutual fund, the only challenge with a mutual fund is that they charge fees, and sometimes the fees are pretty horrendous. And you probably will never, ever see the fee amount because it's buried in there. But over time, that's what's going to happen. The vast majority of professionally managed funds do not outperform the S&P 500, the 500 largest companies in America. Why? Because there's fees attached to it. When you invest in the S&P 500, nobody's making any decisions. They're just saying, hey, these are the 500 biggest companies out there. And when you put it into an index fund like the S&P 500, nobody's making any decisions, so the fees are lower. And then my favorite is Berkshire Hathaway because it acts like a big index fund. And it's Warren Buffett and his team, and he's got this massive team. So when he passes away, it's not going to lose a step, you know. But there's no fees. You can buy $1 million worth of Berkshire Hathaway, and the one-time commission is going to be low. So the reason that the S&P, that Warren Buffett's outperforms the S&P is because there's no fees to it. And there's a small fee with the S&P, but over time, Berkshire Hathaway will outperform the S&P, which will outperform mutual funds, which will kick everybody's trash on pick and choose, because you pick and choose, you lose. Okay, you don't have time for that. Your time is to go make money in number 1 and number 6. Is to add real estate and add your businesses. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about one of the things in that asset allocation in the own side. You can own stocks and you can own crypto. Now, you can own real estate. That's part of the asset allocation, and businesses and all that stuff. But there's a massive misconception about Bitcoin. But I want to talk to you about specifically the blockchain. The blockchain is a massively cool software program that millions of people participate in. Okay, so it is a blockchain technology. Banks use this technology, insurance companies use the technology out there is amazing. And there's a lot of people that use that because it's so much faster, quicker, and less costly. For us to send money around the world, it's a challenge. It's a real challenge, guys. Um, but the world is changing, and part of that's because of the blockchain technology that's out there. So that's the blockchain. Now, Bitcoin is known for being the firstest with the mostest. That's a marketing term that we use. Firstest with the mostest. And there's some things that I like about Bitcoin is that it is really the child of the blockchain technology. Now, the reason people think crypto is a scam because a lot of it is. It honestly is. And when stuff goes up in value and goes down in value fast, and people are trying to game it, they're kind of trying to pump and dump it and stuff like that. That's why we don't pick and choose. If you're doing crypto and you're picking and choosing all these crazy coins out there, well, that's no different than picking and choosing, inexpensive stocks. You're trading. You're just trying to figure out which way it's going. You're gambling. So Bitcoin is the stuff I like about Bitcoin. And again, I'm not telling you what to do with your money. We're just introducing it. We know that a lot of you have an interest in that. So that's why we've created Bitcoin bucks. And you can earn, when you go to some of the classes, you can earn some Bitcoin bucks. You can earn some quick cash, and you can earn some Buffett bucks. And Buffett bucks is named after Warren Buffett. Now, the reason we like Bitcoin is because there's a limited number. There's a limited number. There's a massive piece called supply and demand. Supply and demand. Supply and demand is you take how much demand, how many people want that product, and how much of it is there. Okay, if we have 10 apples out there, if there's 10 apples out there, and there's only one person that wants to buy apples, the price goes down. But if there's 10 apples and there's 20 people that want to buy those apples, guess what? The price goes up. Supply and demand. That's a huge piece that you've got to remember. So the one thing that we like about Bitcoin, and again, we have Bitcoin, but it's a very small, we have is a very small portion of our overall net worth. If some of you want to get into that, you can. You don't need to. Remember, you're figuring out your asset allocation. You've got some in the loan, you got some in the own, you've got some stocks, you've got some S&P 500, you got some Berkshire Hathaway. You can pick and choose a little bit if you want to, but not a lot. I would recommend. And again, I'm not telling you what to do with your money. I'm just telling you to do with the money we give you. We're going to ask you to do that. But there's a limited number of Bitcoin. There's only 21 million, and the vast majority of it has already been created on this chain. Okay. And so you can move money around the world fast and quick because it's a different delivery system. The thing I like about it is that the vast majority of coins are already created. Number two is the demand is going up dramatically because now there are big organizations that are embracing it. There's big companies like BlackRock that make that an ETF where they're actually trading it, meaning they're bringing money in and they're putting their clients into it. So the demand is going up. So you got a lot more demand for a limited number of coins. So that's why it's going up. That's it. That's why it's going up. So there's three areas in I'm going to use the blockchain as the piece. Number one is Bitcoin. And again, if this is my friend Kurt Mortensen said, if you're going to do it, there's three buckets you can put it in. Number one, you can put it into Bitcoin. And that's a whole bucket by itself. And that is probably the safest, more reliable one than any of them. Number two is Ethereum. And Ethereum is really this advanced software that most of the other crypto, I'm going to put crypto into the third bucket. So what we like about Ethereum is that it's the software that runs a lot of this stuff. So it has an income stream. It's making money. It makes money off of all these transactions. So Bitcoin's in one bucket, Ethereum's in a second bucket, and the third bucket is I'm going to throw it into crypto. Now, most of crypto's crap. Okay, most of the crypto's crap. It's penny stocks, it's pick and choose, it's pump and dump and stuff like that. So if you do want to invest in some of those, if I had $100 in my assets and I wanted to take the max would probably be 5% of that. Okay, maybe 5% of that. We'll say 10% because of the math will be easier. So you got $100 right there, and you're going to take 10% of your assets, and you want to put that into the blockchain. I would put most of it into Bitcoin. I'd put most of it into, and then the next would be Ethereum. And then I'd take a little bit and put it into crypto. And that's really venture money. That is, some of those will make money. It's been my experience as I've been doing this that my Bitcoin and Ethereum have made me money, and the crypto crap, I'm going to throw it all in one big group. The crypto crap, we've lost money on it. Okay, so that's why if you're interested in taking your $100 worth of assets and you're taking like 10% of that, I'm just using that for simple math. Of that 10, vast majority should go into Bitcoin. The next would be Ethereum. And then if you want to take a little bit and throw the dice, because throwing the dice is fun, then you could buy some of the crypto stuff. And some of those are doing really well. Dogecoin, people are talking about it. XRP, there's all, and remember, everybody's trying to, all these guys are selling you something. Okay, they're all trying to sell you something. So that would be my opinion on it. So one of the things that we've done is that we've done research with our students. There's many of you out there that are interested in the blockchain technology. Again, remember, blockchain is totally different than the crypto crap. So the blockchain technology and Bitcoin is probably the biggest user of that. So that's how we would do what we do. So when you go through the Share the Wealth and Win and you earn money from that, we're going to give you some cash. The reason we're giving you cash is then I'm going to let you decide what you do with that cash. You can give it away. You can invest more of that into stock. You can put more of it into crypto. You can put it into your real estate. You can do whatever you want with it. But that's why we're doing some of the cash. We're giving you a little bit of stock because that's really that's the real biggie. That's the big stability for us. The reason people think stuff is a scam is because they saw one thing that went up really fast and then dumped. Okay, we call it pumping and dumping. And there's people that are doing that. Their purpose is doing that. They're trying to make a buck on it. They're trying to make a buck on the trading of it. The reason we like the S&P 500 is there's 500 companies, and some of them are going to have a rough quarter, and some of them are going to do really well. So you don't have that hero to zero up and down. If you're picking and choosing, and you put all your money into one stock, it's going to go up and down, and it's going to be a roller coaster, a massive roller coaster. If you're picking and choosing crypto, it's a roller coaster, and you're throwing the dice. So that's why we say in your assets, take a little bit of that. And that's just my advice, what I'm going to tell you to do with the money we give you. So Share the Wealth and Win, very simple. You all have your own personal QR code. You all have your personal link. Share that link. And your job is to teach the simplicity of it. So many people are teaching the crap about the stuff that doesn't work. Okay, and especially now with social media, and you got 30 seconds to get somebody's attention, and their outlandish claims and stuff like that. Forget that. You need to go to classes where you go to A, B, C, D, and E, and it makes a sense to you. So that's why we created the Success Money Foundation. Remember, make a difference, make it happen. Every life is precious. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be right back.